Having understood that the shoulders control the power of the golf swing and the forearms control the draw and the fade, Lee, we're going to work on your wrist hinge, because it's the wrist hinge that controls whether the ball goes low or goes high. Now, as we've worked very hard today, and your left-hand grip has been improving as we've worked. So now we have a parallel left thumb in Lee's left hand. Wonderful. Look how much that's improved today from where you were earlier. But importantly, he has a neat left thumb. Now, if the left thumb is parallel and in the pad, Lee, the most wrist hinge you can get is a perfect 90 degrees. It's so easy with youngsters for the thumb to go too far down the handle. And when the thumb stretches, Lee can hinge his wrists far too much. So it's important that the thumb is parallel, but neat also. Now, when the thumb is neat, the right hand fits absolutely beautifully. And now do your feet, Lee. Great. So, with the grip in this attitude, we can produce 90 degrees of wrist hinge and no more. Now, if we play around with that mix, we can hit the ball low or high. So first of all, we're going to work on the high shot, Lee. Let's go to the explainer and do some drills for that. Come on. Off we go. Let's give you the power roller. Build the fist and the fingers like you were doing earlier. And now take the stance. So the trick is, we're going to swing back now, Lee, to 10 o'clock with the wrist hinge and through to 2 o'clock with the wrist hinge. Keep looking forward now. Okay. Shoulder and wrist to 10, shoulder and wrist to 2. Keep going by yourself, Lee. Up to 10 o'clock, through to 2 o'clock. Excellent. That's wrist hinge there, right there. Loved it. Perfect. Keep it going. Wristy up and wristy through. Wristy back and wristy through and rest. Lee, that was excellent. Now you know how to use the wrists. We can go and hit a golf shot and you get a nice high trajectory rather than a low trajectory. And you know what? You get a bit more distance as well. Let's see if it works. Okay, Lee, let's go with the 5-iron now and hit some shots. Off of the club. Build your grip. And just come around to your left and get your feet square. Perfect. Okay, now Lee's going to hit a golf shot with lots of wrist, no divot, Lee. Off you go. Wonderful. Loads of wrist hinge, and I love the follow through again. Okay, and the next one, through the pre-shot routine, club, fist and fingers, now do the feet, get the feet online. Lots of wrist hinge, up you go, hinge and swish. Very good. You've got to do the cut spin there because you moved your feet just before you hit the ball. So come on the last one, off of the club, build the grip, and now do your feet. Come on now, full swing, lots of wrist, hinge and swish. Well done. Now there's a higher shot. Can you see you kept your balance because your hand action was so good? So that wrist hinge makes the ball fly higher, and Lee found it gave him a nice balance follow through as well. Now let's go and see how to hit a low shot on the explainer. Come on, Lee. Now, we've both got a golf club. To hit the ball lower, we need less wrist hinge. And also it helps to go down the handle of the club. So let's just offer the club up, Lee, and build our grip and take our stance. Off you go. Fist and fingers and do the feet. Now, we're going to go down the handle together, look, and I want you to copy me and just go down the handle like this. Okay, now that's the wrong way of going down the handle because you've become shorter and we've still got the same amount of wrist hinge. So let's start again and let's show you the correct way of going down the handle. So to go down the handle correctly, we actually have to pull the club up the sleeve. So here we go. Off with the club, Lee. Build your grip and then take your stance. Now, if you can stay still and we can move the club head up the handle that way, can you see the difference? You've gone down the handle, but you haven't lost height. And in doing this, Lee loses in wrist hinge, and that of itself will make the ball go lower. Now we're going to go into the explainer and confirm that non-wristy feeling for the low shot. Okay, Lee, let's get into the explainer. Good. So in you come, off of the power roller, build the grip, and now pull the club up your sleeve and go down the handle. That's great. Now take the stance. Now, when you go down the handle, the swing needs to be more upright. So Lee, I'm going to change the angle of the explainer just a little bit. I'm going to make it more upright because you're working down the handle. So keep looking forward. And do you remember the letter Y shape? We're going to keep the letter Y shape at all times. Wide back and wide through. So now the swing is wide, but it's non-wristy. Do you remember, Lee, with the high shot, we had lots of wrist action. With the low shot, we don't need any. The Y shot is staying together. The Y shape, staying back and going through. Okay, keep that feeling going by yourself. Back and through. Keep the Y shape together. So this is non-wristy, Lee. This will hit the ball low. And rest. Okay, let's go and make the golf ball fly low. Okay, Lee, you've got the feeling of the low shot on the explainer. Let's get that feeling now with the golf club. So in you come, give me your best pre-shot routine. Hold the club normally first, and now take your stance, move the feet to your left and get nice and square. Now the key thing is here for Lee, he's going to now pull the club up his sleeve to get rid of some of his wrist hinge. So pull the club up your sleeve, Lee. Now you can see you've got to walk forward a little bit. Now, lots of people think that you punch a low shot. A low shot is best hit with no divot. The ball will cut through the wind much more easily. Off you go then, Lee. Half a swing with no wrist hinge and no divot. Off you go. Well done. You see how low that went? And it will all run forward. If you're playing golf by the seaside, that'll be really helpful. Let's do the next one then. Full setup. Half a swing, no wrists. That was good, but you got a little bit of wrist hinge there and the ball went higher than the last one. So on the third shot, go again. Set yourself up normally. Good, build the grip. Now, let the club come at your sleeve. Hold the club at the bottom now. Down the handle. Well done. And now address the ball. Good, you see, you had to walk forward then, didn't you? So half a swing, Lee, with no wrist hinge. Off you go. Very good. And the great thing is that ball will always run forward when it lands. So when you play golf at the seaside or in the wind, that's going to work perfectly for you. So as you can see, the wrists control the trajectory of the ball. Non-wristy for a low shot and lots of wrist hinge for a high shot. It makes it so much easier if you can get the preparation right to start with. So hopefully Lee has got the feeling now that rather than go down the handle like this, he pulls the club up his sleeve. That makes the swing more upright, it shortens the length of the swing, and it minimises forearm rotation and wrist hinge. All in all, it sends the ball forward very low. So remember, you don't need to punch the ball with a big divot to hit the ball under the wind.